Welcome everyone. It's a beautiful day here in Toronto. I hope it's the same at your end too. Well, my name is Sri. I'm a yoga teacher and a motivational speaker at Yoga Point. So today we are all gathered here from different cities and time zones around the world to transform our lives. How amazing is that? During normal times, we could all have been seated in one room, getting to know each other, but these are extraordinary times, and we are all gathered in a virtual room. Well, it may not be the introduction or the class you had hoped for, but it is the next best thing possible. And I promise you, when things get back to normalcy, I look forward to meeting you in person. For now, let's make full use of the technology and dive into the course, shall we? So today is just a orientation day. No poses will be done. I will simply show you the roadmap so that you are aware of what you are learning, how you are learning, and how you will eventually put it to good use. I have put together a few FAQs, frequently asked questions, that I get asked by my students all the time. Hopefully they should answer all your questions. If not, please email me back your questions at info@yogapoint.ca. That's .ca, not .com. So without much ado, let's get started. First question I get asked is this a yoga class or a yoga course? This is a yoga course, not a yoga class. Yoga class is when a teacher comes into your class, instructs you through different poses. You simply do the poses what the teacher says. Now, yoga course means you learn the very fundamentals of what yoga is. Why you do a certain pose, what are the benefits of that pose, the right way to do the pose, what precautions to take, and many such intricate details. By the end of the course, you will be ready to practice yoga on your own, even teach others. This is the main difference. In addition, you will also learn how to be more grounded, how to manage your emotional and mental well-being. That is the most important thing. And you will also learn how to find solutions to your own problems, how to connect with your inner self, and eventually find your life purpose. So this is what a yoga course does, and this is what we'll engage in the next 10 classes. So we are good so far? Perfect. So let's move on. The next question I get asked is, what type of yoga do you teach? Obviously, people will ask you at some point, what kind of yoga are you learning? So tell them you're learning Hatha Yoga in Ahimsa style. So Hatha Yoga, as you all know, it's the traditional, the original yoga, what you call the yoga with 84 poses. So that's how it started. So we are going to learn Hatha Yoga in Ahimsa style. So Ahimsa, what does Ahimsa means? As you all know, it means non-violence. When you do Ahimsa Yoga, it means practicing non-violence, not only with others, but also to yourself. This means doing your yoga safely and mindfully. So I have seen students who come to class and get injured in many other places. We don't want that to happen. People come to yoga to heal, to repair their body if it's broken. So the last thing you want to happen is, go back injured. So we want to avoid this. So we will teach you yoga in a way, in a safe manner, how to place your limbs, how to make modifications. If the pose is very tough, what are the easy ways to do a pose, and what are the poses to avoid? Just do the poses you need, and many more such things. So it's Hatha Yoga in Ahimsa style. And finally, the fourth question I get from people is, what is the structure of this yoga course? What do you teach? Now, yoga has more than 100 poses. My goal is not to teach you the entire list, as that will simply confuse you. And you'll spend years and years learning all of them, which is not our goal. So here you will learn only what is necessary for your well-being. Now, yogic system has identified 14 different systems in your body where most of the problem happens. For example, there's the head system, the neck system, there's the spinal cord, the spinal system, and there's the shoulder joints, the elbow joints, and your wrists. And your hips, a big problem area for many people. People constantly get pains there. all the way down to your feet, your knees, all the way down to your feet. There's a lot of problems your body can get. Now, if you take care of these systems regularly, you're guaranteed to live a long, healthy, pain-free life. So every class, we learn only 2 or 3 poses at the most. We'll start with the easy poses, master them, get flexibility in our bodies, and we gradually move on to higher class of poses. I will share tips, new tools for your well-being, life lessons. Then you practice these poses until the next class. As you keep adding new poses in each class, you continue practicing the old ones so that you don't forget them, so that your body still remembers them. There's something called muscle memory, if you heard of it. Your muscle remembers if it has done any activity, and it gets better at that as you keep practicing. So it's important that you practice the new poses and the old poses together. At the end of the last class, I will show you how to put them all together and build one strong, powerful, and dynamic practice. So this is your 30-minute yoga. So the 30-minute yoga, what it means is that all those 44 poses, what you have learned in the 10 days, you'll bring it together and you'll do the entire thing in 30 minutes. So this 30-minute yoga will save you time. So all you have to do is 30 minutes of yoga for the day and you're done. You get all the exercise your body needs. So you learn that in the last class. Now every class is different. If you miss a class, you lose continuity. So please be sure to make a commitment for all the next 10 classes. There will be homework in the form of new information to widen your knowledge. It's not, the homework is not done to make things difficult for you. This is a learning. This is a learning process where you get to know more about your body so that you can get the best out of it. All right. So the homework will be given. It's very light homework. And finally, the question number 5. A lot of students ask me, especially the students who are in a hurry to finish everything. We have people who want to get things done in life as soon as possible. I get asked, why does it take several weeks to learn and not one day? They want to know why. If I'm teaching just 1 hour every class, why can't you teach everything 10 hours and finish it off in one day? That's an excellent question. So the answer is very simple. It's not just about dumping all the poses on you. Your body has to be ready for it. Your body has to become flexible. It has to become malleable. It has to allow you to work with it. When you don't do this, when you directly jump into all the poses, start doing all the advanced poses, you are looking for injuries. So this is what we want to avoid. So this is why you have to practice every day. As and when you learn the pose, you have to practice every day to minimize injuries and allow your body to open up. So that's the reason this 10-week course is done in 10 weeks or 6 weeks, but not in one day. So please make a note of it. Now, if you have intricate questions of the poses, don't worry at this stage. They have all been tried and tested for the past 5,000 years. You cannot go wrong here. Simply practice the poses given in the sequence and you have all the exercise you need in a day. Just look for 2 poses. Every class you'll see poses. Work on them. You're good to go. I'll lead you through a very easy form of exercising, sitting in the chair. So this is called a chair yoga. How you can do your yoga practice if you're unable to even sit in the mat. So if you're ready, just sit up comfortably, bring yourself, make sure your spine is straight, comfortably relax, take a deep breath. First, we'll exercise our spine. Gently twist to your right and hold for 5 breaths. Perfect. Release. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Gently twist and hold. Feel your spine twist. Stay here for 5 breaths. Perfect. Now release. Now come back straight. So the spine is done. The next is the shoulders, the big problem area. So gently where you are, seated where you are, gently rotate anti-clockwise. Feel the muscles and all the ligaments, the nerve endings being stretched out in the shoulder. You can close your eyes and feel those. Bring all your attention to those areas of your body. Feel them loosening up. Now we can just directly stop and do clockwise. Check if the sensation is any different when you do it clockwise. You are releasing the stress from those areas. Okay, now we can stop. Now next would be the wrists. So what we'll do is bring your hands closer to your shoulders. So slowly rotating your wrists in clockwise direction, gently open up your elbows so that you're moving forward. Make sure you don't hit your computer screens. That's important. Make sure you don't topple your cameras. So bring your hands all the way to the front. If you're ready, let's do a little high five. Okay, perfect. Now staying where you are, gently rotate inwards, anti-clockwise. Rotate them, and as you do this, bend your elbows as if you're bringing your wrists back. Perfect. You can see that little noise that makes when your wrists are rotating. Bring yourself back. Perfect. So the next one is the neck. Gently rotate your neck to your right. Feel the muscles being stretched on the left side of your neck. Feel the muscles being opening up. Feel all your nerves becoming flexible. If any of you who suffer from neck pain, this is the best exercise to do. Gently bring yourself back. Now gently twist your neck to the other side. Feel the muscles opening up on the right side of your body. Feel the stretch happening. Don't forget to breathe. So gently bring your neck back. Okay, perfect. So what you learned is a small sample of what we call Sarva Sandhi Bodha. In other words, it means all joints awakening. So we're going to awaken all the joints in our body, starting from your toes all the way to your head. So we'll do that. We'll explore that fully in one of the classes. Now let's go back to our questions. Is the course free and why? So a lot of people ask me this question, why is the course free? What's happening here? Yes, the course is free. The reason is I believe in the philosophy of if you give a man a fish, he'll ask for a fish every day. But if you teach him how to fish, he will find the fish himself and take care of his family. Now the pandemic has shown us in a big way the most important things in life are good health, taking care of each other and taking care of our planet. This is how we find purpose in life. So these are the goals which I aim for, and I hope you place importance to these three things. We have to take care of ourselves, everything, and on the planet on which we exist. And I hope you will pass on this goodwill to many people you come across. Now the question number 7. One thing I see many people ask me is that, can this course help me teach and get into yoga as a career? It's a wonderful question. Obviously, you want to know. You are here not just to learn this course, but to check and see can this earn me bread and butter? Yes, this course is designed to help you earn a CYA certificate, which stands for Canadian Yoga Alliance. So I'll share the steps to earn that certificate in our last class, how you can move towards that and move towards finding a career in yoga. But the important thing you have to remember is this. Life feels great when things are moving along smoothly, right? You have a stable economy, you have a good job, you have a 2-income family, you have good health, etc. But what can go wrong? Well, we live in a constantly changing world. As everyone saw what's happening, no one anticipated this pandemic to happen, but it has happened. It's threatening our health, our way of life, your work, your future plans, your travel plans, you name it. There's not one thing that has been left untouched by the pandemic. So therefore, it never hurts to develop a new skill set or preparing a backup career plans. Now, teaching yoga is a great way to take care of your own health. It's a great way to develop leadership qualities in your community. And it's a great way to build your career in the wellness and the healthcare sector and living a purposeful life by helping others. So this is the most important thing. As you all see what's happening on the healthcare side, there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of demand for people to help take care of others' health. So this is where your yoga skills will come into use. Now, I know it's not easy for many of you as you have busy lifestyles, you have families, you have work, and you're tired in the weekend. The last thing you need to do is take another commitment, right? But think of this way, but think of this as a learning a new skill, right? Such as swimming or first aid. If you ever need it, you should be ready to use it. The time you spend here is an investment for your future. All you need is spending 1 or 2 hours a week and some practice at home for the next 10 classes. And you will go as far as you're prepared to practice and work hard. That is important. You'll go far just by doing these basic things, just a little practice and attending these next 10 classes. Now, as tragic as this pandemic is, it can also be an opportunity for you to reset the button in your life, right? You may be asking yourself, probably I need a career change. I need to do something meaningful. Perhaps this is the time that has come for you to make use of it. The course is free, but your time is not. Your time is precious. The time you spend today will not come back again. So let's make every day count, shall we? So that brings our introduction to close. You have taken the first step in a journey of 1,000 steps. As with any journey, you will need to know what to carry, what not to carry, what to do and what not to do. So this knowledge makes your journey comfortable, successful, and safe. So below are some basic guidelines for your yoga practice. First, a health disclaimer. This is a beginner's yoga program and completely safe for you to practice. But as a yoga teacher, I'm required to receive your permission to teach you yoga. So please be sure to read and sign the waiver form, and also do check with your healthcare professional before starting this program or any other physical activity. So first thing what we need in yoga, obviously yoga mat. Why? Why do you need a yoga mat? Now, when you place your limbs on the floor, it is important that you have a complete grip of the surface to avoid slipping or toppling. So do not practice your yoga without a mat ever, no matter how bad you want to practice it. You can find a decent mat in your local stores or online stores. It can be as cheap as $10 or as high as $150. Look for the ones with thick padding, as it will be easy on your knees when you bring them down. Now, optional things you need is a block. A block, as you've seen, it makes a pose easy, gives you extra light. Then there's something called a yoga strap or a yoga belt. It makes it easy for you to stay in a pose. Now, these are all optional. You won't need it. Now, if possible, try to get a blanket or a cushion for knee padding, which means anytime there are some poses where you have to bring your knee down. So in which case, you may have a little pain in your knee. So try to use a pillow or a blanket for padding. That will greatly help you. And what you need next is what to wear. Wear loose, comfortable clothing. It's important to wear something that will not restrict your movement in any way. That is most important. Number 3 on the list is eating. You have this is more important than people realize. Always be sure to do your yoga on an empty stomach. That is very important. Now give at least a gap of 1 hour before doing yoga. That's fine. It's understandable you want to do yoga in the middle of the day, but make sure you give a gap of at least 1 hour before doing yoga. Or if you have eaten now, Just wait until 1 hour and then you can do yoga. So this is to avoid getting that sensation of food coming into your mouth, especially when you do poses like downward dog. All right, next thing is bottle of water. Have water next to you at all times. Now drink as and when you're tired. Don't ask for permission. You don't have to look for permission. Just get a bottle of water and drink it. Now, because when you're doing yoga, you keep sweating a lot. Depends on how vigorously you're doing the practice. So you need to be hydrated at all times and drink lots of water. Number 5 on the list is rest. Now, anytime you feel giddy, stop the pose, come into a child's pose, also called the Balasana. I've demonstrated this pose in the next video, or you can always Google Balasana child's pose, just to get an idea of how this pose looks like. Number 6 on the list is pain. See, yoga is not about pushing through pain. There is no such thing called no pain, no gain in yoga. This is something, this terminology is restricted to your gym or any of those physical exercises. In yoga, we don't have anything like that. If your body does not allow you to do a pose, do not force yourself into it. This is very important. If your body does not allow you to do a pose, do not try to force yourself into doing that pose. You'll be given an easy modification, which means there are 2 or 3 versions of doing that full pose. So you'll be given the easy version. Do the easy version first. With daily practice and sufficient time, you can move on to the next higher advanced version. And finally, at some point, you'll do the full pose, full expression of the pose. But always start with the easy version. So number 7 on the list is patience. See, in our younger days, we all have done athletic feats with our bodies, maybe cartwheels, maybe climbing trees and whatnot. But today, many of us can barely squat, that is sit on our feet, to even clip our toenails. Remember, your body has taken a long time, even several decades, to reach this present state you are in. Now, to get back to that previous phase where you are very active, where you are very flexible, we have to give it at least 6 months, right? We want to spend at least few months. We have to give our body at least some time for it to catch up with us. Now, with daily practice, working slowly and above all patiently, you will restore your body to a better state of health than ever before. So most importantly, please remember, patience is everything. Now, number 8 on our list is a teaching format. What we usually do is, yoga usually starts with standing sun salutation. If you ever gone to a yoga class, you will see they do the sun salutation first and gradually move towards the floor into sitting poses and finally end the class in a corpse pose or a shavasana. But because we are learning, we will start with the easy poses first, then we'll do the difficult poses last. Easy poses are the ones which is done sitting and standing poses. So if you ever feel that the yoga is too easy for you what in the class, do not despair. The tough poses are coming at a later point. But the first, you have to master the easy poses. That is the most important thing to remember. So this method of learning allows your body to open up, become flexible with each class, each practice, and be ready for the advanced poses. Once again, number 9 and the most important, practice, practice, practice. Your daily practice should be at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes long and done few times per week depending on your schedule, your goals, and your ability. Remember, with practice, a student can become as good as a teacher, but with no practice, even a student can become, even a good teacher can become a student. So that's the difference between practicing and non-practicing. Once again, I welcome you to the beginning of your new journey that will change the direction of your life and people around you. Every practice has to have a set of rules and guidelines that allow us to practice correctly, safely, and derive full benefits. So too in yoga, we have something called the 5 commitments that act as the compass to check if we are going in the right direction or if we are straying away from the path. So these 5 commitments, the first one is called steadiness or sthira in Sanskrit. So this means to maintain focus, your balance, and steadiness in your pose. In other words, when you're in a pose, you should be like a tree in the wind, not a shaky leaf. Steadiness comes when you correctly place your hands and feet, follow proper breathing techniques, and being aware of your movements and intention of your yoga practice. So it's the most important, steadiness, being steady in your pose. So number 2 on the list is gracefulness, also called sukha. It means doing your practice with grace, with a sense of ease and calmness. When you're in a pose, it should not look like you're in pain or fear. And one way to bring about ease is to smile. Have a big, broad smile on your face. Smiling helps send positive signals to your body and it cooperates with what you're doing. When you crunch your face, it sends a signal that you are fearing what you're doing and it reflects on your pose. So the second most important thing is gracefulness or sukha. Smile a lot. Number 3 on the list is core line, also called sushumna. Now our body has a core line, or also called the center of gravity. This means doing your poses by maintaining a straight core line without any imbalance in the spine. If there's any imbalance, consciously try to correct your pose, try to bring yourself back into the pose, always being aware of it. Now, if you continue with this imbalance in your pose, if you don't correct it, you will end up having injuries, or you'll have one side of the body which won't be aligned properly. So that's the number 3, core line or sushumna. So number 4th on the list is called prana in Sanskrit. Most important of all, breathe at all times during a pose. Breathing is what makes you practice yoga. Your body needs a continuous supply of energy in the form of breath to keep it moving. Now, fresh oxygen is its food to keep your body energetic and dynamic. Obviously, when you're in the middle of a pose, you cannot drink water, you cannot eat food. So fresh oxygen is what keeps your body moving and gives you a lot of energy. So always breathe. Now the basics of breathing are very simple. One breath constitutes a full cycle of inhale and exhale. For example, so that's one inhale and one exhale constitutes one breath. Now 5 such breaths, breathing yourself in 5 such breaths is equal to 30 seconds, right? So 30 seconds, when you breathe yourself 5 times in that manner, one inhale, exhale for 5 times, that becomes 30 seconds. We stay in a pose for at least 5 breaths or 30 seconds. This is how we measure the amount of time you stay in a pose. You don't get a clock or anything. You don't look at a clock to see how long you're in pose. Just keep breathing, count 30 seconds, 5 breaths, 30 seconds, 10 breaths, 1 minute. In this fashion, you can calculate yourself as long as you want. So 2 options for breath. First thing is get into your pose, stay there for 5 breaths. That's one option. Or you can do 1 inhale, move the pose, exhale, again move again, continue moving. So this is called the flow series. We'll use both these techniques in our practice at some point. You'll see for yourself as we go deep into the practice. Number 5, the last and most important, is called the truth. Satya, as the name says, Satya, we have heard of this name all the time, which means being true to yourself, right? Being true to yourself. Yoga is not a competition to get ahead of others. It is about you striving to be the best version of yourself at all times. The only competition is with yourself. So today, if you're at point A, you want to move to point B, not someone else's point B or C. The day you start practicing yoga as a competition with someone else, your practice will suffer. This means if the person next to you is doing advanced poses, let them be. That's not our problem. It's our goal to move from point A to our point B. That is most important thing to remember. And also, many people have this misconception. Yoga is not about getting a yoga body. Yoga is not about losing weight or getting a six-pack body. If it happens, well and good, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to get a six-pack frame of mind, becoming mentally and emotionally strong. It is about developing a stillness and inner strength. So we'll talk more about this in the life lessons, which you'll see at the end of every class. Most importantly, keep, as you do your poses, keep these 5 commitments in the back of your mind and constantly keep checking your pose if it meets all these 5 commitments. We'll start with our first class on chakras. Chakras and the poses associated with it. So what are chakras? What is the role chakra plays in your life? You'll be amazed when you get to know how much chakras influence our life. So please be prepared for that. So once again, I extend every one of you a hearty welcome, and may our association, this time spent together, be filled with friendship, learning, and warmth. So see you next weekend. Namaste.